Hey, how are y'all doing? So, here's the whole day. Um, Now, I do want to mention that I just made an entire video and I had to delete it because just like the other two times where you might remember, I with my new mic, I'm not using my headset mic anymore. I'm using a mic that is not attached to headphones. So I did not hear the fact that there was music playing in the background on my computer. Or it wasn't music, but it was videos, and so I had to delete it because the video is just playing in the background. So, I had to delete it for copyright reasons, and also because you can barely hear me. So, sorry, I don't know if I want to make another 25-minute video right now, but I'm just gonna get through this. I'm not gonna waste too much time here. So, we start off in this range, highs, lows. We're in this range right here. And you get this two-legged move down, and then I marked this area as a bearish imbalance. So the reason and someone asked me why I marked this as a bearish imbalance because I posted this, and after we formed the overnight low here, we got this uptrend break, new high. Now it's in the form of two legs up, but it's still an uptrend with a break and a new high, and then a rush back below the EMA, and the EMA ended up holding. That is a sign of a bearish imbalance because all that really means is the bears are taking control of the range. So, look at this downtrend, got down to here, had a break, push all the way down to here, and then the bulls could barely even take back they took back like a quarter of the move, or like 1/3 of it. And that's before pushing back below the EMA, and then bears taking control again down here. So that's a bearish imbalance. If prices can't get too high in a range and it just stays lower, that's a bearish imbalance. So it's kind of scaling weird. So anyway, this little downtrend here is a break and a new low. I started trading around this area right here and made this double top, which is when I got this range, and then I just put the lows down to here. I ended up thinking they looked better there after the fact, but I left them here, and we got this double top. I was tempted to go short there because it's two legs up, but I ended up not, just because it felt weird it rushing above the EMA both times after coming off the overnight low, so I was afraid the range could recover here, so I was just a little bit worried about that, which it does rush above the EMA again, except I still took this short because at this point it's a full-on range. We made this triple test, it's a triple top, there's enough room down to the lows, and now this little uptrend here has an overshoot. Now, I want to talk about one thing. So, you see how this has an overshoot, and then I take it, and it goes through this whole trend right here? Now, there are some times when I'll say you'll want to get out before you reach the other side of that little trend. But that's always for way bigger trends. Like, so this is such a short-term trend, I don't mind pushing through. It's just a little SCT. Now, let's see, what's a good example I can show? Okay, there isn't an example exactly right here, but I really want to explain this. So, say that you have a downtrend, and it's drawn a little bit weird, but pretend like this downtrend is a perfectly fitting downtrend, with price going back and forth inside of it, up, down, and that's the price, okay? Pretend like that's a nice fitting downtrend, okay? And then say you get this little overshoot at the very end here, and that's an entry. If there's a really big trend like this, which I know it's not a massive trend, but when you compare it to an STT like that, this is a little bit different. These types of, okay, sorry, I keep stepping over my words here. But if we're in a trend like this, and we get an overshoot, and I'm at an entry, and I think it's good to take the overshoot entry, I would want to get out before reaching the highs of this trend. And really, the only difference between it is that this is a much bigger picture trend. So I would want to get out before the highs because it could end up holding and stopping you out. But this right here, when I'm taking a trade with the bias at a good context area, I'm not going to let a little tiny STT let me worry. I'm going to take it through the trend. I'm going to expect it to break through it, but not on a much bigger trend like this. So, sorry, that's a little bit weird example because I just didn't have a perfect example to show here, but I think it gets my point across because people have asked about that. There's times where where it's okay, very, very short term, and there's times where I would like to get out before. Now, you know, and that's just what I've experienced. I'm not like a perfect trader or anything, just that's what I do. I'm still figuring some things out, but that's what I do right now. So anyway, we push lower, 30 tick profit. 30 tick profit, and that's 7.5 points. Anyway, we push out of the overnight lows, so we attempt to retrace to it. It ends up pushing lower before even reaching the EMA. No way that you can get in on that move right there. And then we push higher. We actually close above the EMA twice, and then when you get that bear bar, it's like, I personally wouldn't want to enter just on that first entry. Now, it does have that overshoot, and then it does close back below there, but you're entering at the very low of the day. I mean, this is you're basically just shorting low. You know, they say sell high, buy low. This is just selling really low on a first entry. Not something I would really want to do there. So, and then I got this downtrend here off these lows, by the way. I just drug it off there. You know, got them off those three, put it up there, and then, yeah. And so I actually had this downtrend before this move right here, this up move even finished. And so what I was thinking here was, okay, we push up here, starts from here, we push up, EMA holds price down. I'm not going to short the very low. Hold on, I didn't have this downtrend at the time yet. I didn't want to just short directly into the lows of the day, especially not after reaching the key entry point, which I did have at that point. So if this had made like a nice second entry off the key entry point with no STT, you know, then I would have been fine with it, but we just don't get a setup there. So we just keep pushing lower. We have another push down, bounces, we get a break of this downtrend, so downtrend gets a break, but we don't immediately start pushing to a new low. The EMA holds. We end up going into this uptrend here, which, let me make that exactly how I wanted it. So we're in this uptrend here. At first I drew it like this, just uptrend, break, couple legs at a new high, and that is correct. I think it's valid either way that you draw it, but it gets you to the same place. Because I could tell that that's what happened. Uptrend, break, first leg to a new high, break, second leg to a new high before rushing back below the EMA. But, you know, after that I ended up drawing this here to see if there's any plays on a bigger picture, and this trend didn't really come into play that much. But we get this uptrend, break, new high, and then we go into a range here, so you can see that on a bigger picture. As soon as it makes the new high, it just starts kind of ranging here, and I took my loss here. I shouldn't have taken that. I don't know why I took that. I literally took a buy in this. Like, I already knew not to buy down here, and then somehow I just thought maybe it's been going sideways enough. I took a stupid buy. So, not a very wise decision, but then after I took that loss, it didn't take me long to end up drawing this channel here. So, anyway. But I somehow took a buy there. It was just too bearish. I should not have been looking to go long. The big picture uptrend right here just played out with a break and a new high. We went into a range and then rushed below the EMA. Now, there was a range here, but it wasn't like it held that many times. It had this one bounce here and this one bounce right before my entry. It's really not strong support, especially with how bearish it was. I shouldn't have been buying there. But either way, what I was thinking was, we're off these lows of a range, downtrend has a break, new low, and then I even had my short-term trend line drawn incorrectly at the time of the trade. I had it drawn, I didn't notice, but it was like directly cutting through. Like, I don't know how it moved, because I don't remember drawing it like that, but it was like completely closing out, and then I was like, wait a minute, that's not even right. It closes inside. So I got stopped out because of those reasons, I believe, and then pretty soon after getting stopped out there, I got this downtrend. So now we have these highs, lows in this downtrend. We push on lower here. We correct again. We go into this short-term uptrend. I didn't want to just immediately take that short because it rushed above the EMA. The uptrend here is still in play. It held off both sides, the lows and the highs. So I wanted to see a couple, like an attempt at a new high. Now we get uptrend, break, first attempt at a new high, and it is kind of short term, but there's that second attempt at a new high failure. Now, I wasn't thinking of it like as the first attempt higher, second attempt higher. I was really thinking of it as like 2 legs back. What I was wanting to see was I was wanting to get like 2 legs back off the key entry point, but it couldn't make it. The EMA held it down, and then I ended up just going 1-to-1 right here because I didn't want to. I basically was entering into the lows of the day, and there's not any clear level of support here, but it's like it bounced there. It kind of looks like it's flattening out at the lows of the day. I didn't want to short lower than that low, so I just got out at 1-to-1. That's what I was thinking there, and so we just pushed lower. Now we have these couple legs down before going into this range right here, which I should have drawn. I always have a habit of not drawing stuff. And then look, even this trade here looks better. Now that it looks instantly better because now it's a failed breakout of that. Oh my God. Anyway, we have a couple legs up, break out of this range. Most breakouts will fail. It's basically right off the key entry point. That's barely a break. I don't consider that a break of this downtrend. That's nothing. That's just a bounce. So the uptrend played out with a break and a new high. Even if I had gotten this in time, I still wouldn't have taken that. We just don't get any good bar. Clearly it has short-term trend line in play. So there's nothing really to take there. Just not for me. And it ends up being a massive move though. So we go into this downtrend here. Little break, new low, congestion. Another push down, we correct again, we get to the EMA. No good setups here because at this point you're still just shorting directly into the low without a good setup. It is a second entry, but not really, that's just one leg up. Pushes down here, and then here we go. This is my, what did I do? Oh. This is my next trade, my last trade, and it's my favorite trade of today. Because, I mean, I like that one too, but this is my favorite trade today. So, it's right off the key entry point. Sorry, let me zoom out again. We have this downtrend, we have these highs, lows, once, twice, 3 times, and then this is the 4th bounce. So I was I was shorting off the 4th bounce, and then I got exactly what I wanted. I wanted 2 legs up. Here's how I had it at first. I got first leg up, and then it was like break, and then it was like, oh, it's making the second leg up, and then I was really annoyed when it did this, but then I remembered it's probably just making a leg up, 2-legged correction, second leg up, and that's exactly what ended up happening. We got an overshoot of this. I didn't immediately short on that bar. Now, it had the overshoot, but it felt like it was just such a small overshoot. I wanted to get a close out of this trend. This particular trend does not need a break and a new high because it is the second leg up in this short-term uptrend right here. This short-term uptrend has a break and a new high. This is the only one that needs a new high. This little trend right here is the move to the new high from this uptrend. So it does not need a break and a new high itself. I only wanted a close out or an overshoot, but the overshoot was a little bit too small considering how big the trend was. I just really wanted to close out, and so I waited for that close out, and then I ended up waiting for this bar, and then it triggered, and then I got filled with a limit order back there, and then nice 6.5 points. That's what I was thinking for that trade. And then look what that led to. It literally led to another 2-legged move before going a little bit sideways and going back higher for a little bit. So 2-legged move up led to a 2-legged move down. So just keep that in mind. Hold on, there was something I was going to talk about back here I forgot about. What was it? Oh, that's right. So for this trade right here, so you see how there's these 2 legs up here. There we go. So leg up, break, second leg up. Then what I had drawn, I deleted them since, but I had them, was I wanted to see 2 legs down from there. So 2-legged move up on a big picture, 2-leg move, ended up forming this ended up forming the this channel here basically because I got the bounce there. I didn't get it till after I took that loss, but the 2 legs up and then had this leg down, and then break. I wanted to get in on this second leg down here. And so that was actually part of this trade right here. But I still wanted to get out before the lows because I was kind of getting worried about it looking like there's some support. But I just remembered I thought I would share that. So we get those couple legs down, then we correct. We immediately close back above. Then we get this lower high that just closed back above again. So it's really not worth taking. It's like, to me, I see 2 legs down that ended up not even barely getting to the middle of this range, and then immediately a rush above. So I'm not going to take any of those shorts in there. We push lower, make this double bottom, you get a couple legs up. You can see this little 2-legged move here. Obviously it doesn't reach that whole thing, but you can still see the, leg up, break, leg up again, and then it's very congestive. It's sideways and it's going back and forth above the EMA. It's right after it made the low of the day double bottom. I would be really scared about going short there. So we end up getting this move up here, get this little overshoot, push lower, and then this I wasn't really trading at this point. I was kind of just eating. I went and made something to eat, and then I came back to make the video. But so I haven't seen this last part right here, but we go into this downtrend. Just very shallow corrections inside of it, and we get a break, and then now here we are here. So I guess that's it for the video. Let's see, how long is this? 16 minutes. Yeah, this today seemed to, it kind of seemed a little bit like there might not have been as many bars as recent days. Like, no, it looks, it doesn't look much different. Either way, I hope I covered everything. Whenever I get a video that's under 20 minutes, I feel like I skipped over stuff, but I think I covered every last detail here. So that's going to do it for the video. Hope y'all had a good trading day. And yeah, have a good one.